Hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of the Strength series. These episodes are about gaining muscle and losing fat, specifically for guys. In this episode, I'm going to talk about weight loss. So, in the last episode, I gave you targets for protein, carbohydrate, fat, and total calories. Now I'm going to show you how to manipulate those in order to lose weight. Now, I've put my numbers up on screen for reference. These are my own daily targets if I want to maintain my current weight. How do I know this? Because I've tracked my weight for several weeks, and using these numbers, my weight has been steady. If you're hitting your calorie target, you have to see what it's actually doing to your weight. You can weigh yourself every day and put that in the app, but it's fine to just do it twice a week. Your weight fluctuates by 3 or 4 pounds across a single day. So the best way to get consistency with your measurements is to weigh yourself first thing in the morning, before breakfast, and in the same clothes. Because your weight fluctuates so much, you're going to need 2 or 3 weeks of data before you can even tell if your weight is going up, down, or staying the same. When you do start losing weight, the first week you're going to lose the most because a lot of what you lose is water weight. After that, a good target to aim for would be half a kilo a week, which is 1 pound. Even losing half a pound a week consistently is going to make a difference. A pound a week adds up to 52 pounds a year, which is around 4 stone of weight loss. That's a realistic rate, so don't worry if you've read that some guy on the internet lost 4 stone in just 12 weeks by eating 500 calories a day and living in the gym. Weight loss isn't a competition, and actually 95% of people who lose weight will put it back on within 5 years. It's more about building healthy habits, and if you think about it, the longer your journey takes, the longer you're spending building those habits. If you aren't losing weight, drop your daily target by 200 calories. You'll hear a lot of people say 500 calories. That's because 500 times 7 is 3,500 calories, which is the equivalent to 1 pound of fat. While that's good in theory, in practice it's actually quite difficult to do that straight away. So if I were to cut 500 calories on Monday, by the time I get to Thursday, I'm down 2,000 calories on what I'm used to eating. That is an entire day's worth of food. My body's going to notice that, it's going to make me stressed, and I'm going to end up binge eating. Here's a little sliding scale of calories in a day. In the middle is what you need to maintain your current weight. And as I said in my health series, you can go up to 200 calories higher or lower, and you won't really notice the difference. This is the reason that people are actually fat in the first place, because they're eating slightly too many calories every day, they don't really notice that they're doing it, and they end up piling on weight. So just like you'd notice if you ate 500 calories above maintenance every day, you're going to notice if you go 500 below. That's why instead of dropping by 500, I recommend going down by 200 initially. So if you went from 2,200 calories down to 2,000, you then have 2 options. You either stay at 2,000 and it just takes you longer to reach your weight goal, or if you feel like your body's adapted to that lower level of calories, you can drop it again to 1,800. Now, in terms of where those 200 calories come from, they're not coming from protein. We're going to keep our protein intake the same, and some studies have actually shown you should increase your protein slightly when you're trying to lose weight in order to preserve muscle mass. Holding onto your muscle is so important when you're losing weight, because that's what burns the majority of your calories. So if you aren't already, then include weight training or body weight exercises when trying to lose weight. In terms of fat, you need a minimum of 1 gram of fat per kilo of body weight. If you're getting above this level, you can bring it down, but for now we're assuming that fats are staying the same. That means that the 200 calories a day is coming from carbohydrate. Now 200 calories of carbs is 50 grams. The best time to cut those is when you're not exercising. So on days I'm resting, I go from 160 down to 110, nice and simple. On days I do exercise, I'm up at 290, that comes down to 240. If I exercise in the morning, then I'm going to cut those carbs from my evening meal because I still want to fuel my morning workout. Vice versa, if I train in the evening, I'm going to cut those carbs at breakfast. Be aware that there's also a minimum for carb intake in a day, and that should be around 100 grams. This is because your brain primarily runs on glucose. If you have a mentally taxing job, then you might need more than 100 as your minimum. If you dip below that, then your brain doesn't get the fuel that it needs, and you'll get something called brain fog. You'll struggle to think clearly, you'll have trouble concentrating, and you'll become forgetful. So my new numbers look like this. If I have a bowl of oatmeal every morning, maybe I switch that out for a 4-egg omelette and I've cut my carbs for the day. If I'm exercising in the morning, then I'm still going to want my oats, but maybe I cut down on the rice I have at dinner and replace it with fibrous vegetables. Remember, adding veg to a meal is a great way to add to the volume of food you eat, and that's going to limit any feelings of hunger you experience. So that's it for episode 3. In episode 4, I'm going to talk about muscle gain and where you're going to put those extra calories. Thank you for watching.